This game. It's a rabbit hole. After only 4 moves, there's more than 300 billion options to consider. We can take you very close to the edge.
So congratulations on this movie. What was it that really drew you into this project and made you want to be a part of it?
It's such an amazing story. I loved the script. I really wanted to work with Ed, and I was, and the company of actors is just incredible, top to bottom. But I loved their relationship between Bobby and his sister, and it was such an important and formative and unique relationship because he didn't have a ton of relationships with women in his life, and his relationship with his sister was so kind of special. And you know, she bought him his first chessboard, so I was really excited to tell her story.
Well, he's just such a controversial, interesting figure. I mean, I really wanted to see what Tobey would do with it. He always had a little bit of a coyote in him, and I think we're attracted to that, the kind of trickster. I don't think we realized just how mentally fragile he was, or no one would have put him at the front to represent all of America in such a stressful situation.
Bobby Fischer's been portrayed a few different ways throughout the years in film and documentaries. What was it about your take on him that was most challenging?
In approaching playing Bobby Fischer and telling the story, we had a certain kind of framework for the film, and films are around 2 hours long. So trying to pack in as much of Bobby Fischer as I could within the framework of the film was my challenge.
The documentary that Liz Garbus did was remarkable, and I think the dramatic effects of actually feeling the narrative as it unfolds as a human story, you know, getting inside or speculating at least about the mind and the internal experience of this person was the challenge. And I think that's something that you can only do in a film.
It's hard to portray a person and capture every side and every nuance and piece of personality and behavior of that person. So I'm just doing my best job to give a portrait of that person in as honest a way as possible. And that's really the challenge.
I mean, Ed will tell you, I always said that I was not playing a real person, that I was just playing myself. I actually didn't want to refer to Father Lombardi really at all as I was playing it. I didn't do much research into him. I sort of thought that the events of the film, you know, they're dramatized. It's 2 hours long. It doesn't go that deeply into who this man was, so I didn't want to get involved in that too much.
There's always such a feeling of responsibility when you're playing someone who's real, and particularly someone who is as amazing as she was. So I think there's always kind of, you know, it's that wonderful weight that you carry around, but I like that.
I didn't know anything about Paul Marshall, and I grew to have a great appreciation for who he was, what he achieved, how passionate he was about smart people, and how he championed genius.
Words that's obviously used to describe Bobby Fischer's genius, and everybody seems to have kind of a different definition of it. What is your definition of genius?
Oh gosh, it's such an overused word. I do think that it's very appropriate when talking about Bobby Fischer. He was so delicate. I think, you know, when genius like that happens, it needs to be taken care of and protected. It's our responsibility as human beings to sort of take care of those sort of more delicate flowers that are so especially beautiful. And I think that I would say that to me is so much of what the movie is about.
Someone who defies even what our dreams of what a person could accomplish or achieve. You know, it's obviously a very subjective term. I use it incredibly sparingly, but I certainly would use it with him. Someone who operates outside the paradigm of what all the rest of us are used to doing, and achieves something by doing that.
Something maybe you learned from Bobby from playing him.
Well, I think that there were a lot of things that I found interesting about Bobby. Bobby had a tremendous work ethic. He would work on his chess game 13, 14 hours a day, every single day. He was really mono-focused, which, you know, I'm not sure if you have to do that to be the best in the world, but that's what he did, and he was the best in the world. He certainly had a talent for it, but I think it was his talent combined with the work ethic that got him where he got to, but he also didn't, his life wasn't very balanced. Anyways, as I dug into that kind of stuff, I just found it fascinating the more I dug in there, and I'm not sure what I learned or didn't learn. I think, you know, these things sort of seep into you and become a part of your life experience. I don't know, I have to think about what a takeaway was for me.
One really random question. I'm pretty sure I once saw you at the Taylor Swift concert. Were you at the Taylor Swift concert?
I was at a Taylor Swift concert. Yeah.
Okay.
American Horror Story is such a specific world, so it really is Eileen Wuornos in that world, which I think is inevitably going to be different.
Oh, in a past career.
Yeah, who would you team up with of your past characters?
There was this serial killer I played in a hideaway.
He'd be intimidating.
I know, he'd just stand on the court.
Yeah.